It's easy to get stuck reaching for the same familiar fruits and vegetables, even when you know a colorful variety is key. Balance of Nature's fruits and veggie supplements don't replace fruits and vegetables, but it makes it easy to add more variety to what you already eat. With 31 ingredients that are whole fruits and vegetables, switching it up is easy because we've already taken care of the hard part. Go to balanceofnature.com and get a free fiber and spice supplement, plus 35% off your first set as a new preferred customer by using discount code POD.
The holidays mean more travel, more shopping, more time online, and more personal info in more places that could expose you more to identity theft. But LifeLock monitors millions of data points per second. If your identity is stolen, our US-based restoration specialists will fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. Don't face drained accounts, fraudulent loans, or financial losses alone. Get more holiday fun and less holiday worry with LifeLock. Save up to 40% your first year. Visit lifelock.com/podcast. Terms apply.
It's the Joe Concha Tunnel to Towers Foundation Sunday morning show. Now, here's Joe Concha.
Oh my God. I'm back. I'm home. All the time. We finally really did it. You maniacs! You blew it up! Oh, damn you! God damn you all to hell!
It's the Joe Concha Tunnel to Towers Foundation Sunday morning show. Now, here's Joe Concha.
And welcome back, everybody. All right, let's bring in a man that I've wanted to talk to for a while because we seem to be on television at the same time without being the same time. So whenever we do say Sean Hannity's show, for example, or Jesse Waters, Senator Kennedy always is on before me. And then afterwards, I got to follow up him, which is quite very, very difficult. It's kind of like going on after the Beatles, and you don't want to be that guy who goes on after the Beatles. So let us bring in Senator John Kennedy, Republican, Louisiana. He is a senator, but he is trying to rise above it, to quote the senator himself. Senator, thanks for joining us. We appreciate it.
Oh, Joe, thank you for having me, man. Folks, y'all listen to Joe's show like I do. He's a wise man.
Wow.
But I really appreciate you having me, man.
That's the promo that I want to hear. And the book, which has shot up to the top of the New York Times bestseller list, How to Test Negative for Stupid and Why Washington Never Will. So this came out last month, Senator, obviously doing quite well. And it's the type of thing where the reason why I think people like to book you so much is because you understand that not everything has to be angry and loud and divisive like we see from so many Democrats these days. You have a wit to you. How do you come up with these? I think Sean asked you this once, but for my radio listeners, I need to know. How do you come up with all these tremendous quips just with a deadpan kind of Johnny Carson delivery? Were you in comedy at one point? Where does it come from?
Well, I'm in comedy. I'm in the United States Senate.
I see.
But look, I don't know, Joe. God gave me a deeply weird brain. Some of it just comes to me. Some of it, God gave me a really good memory, and I could read something a couple of years ago, a clever turn of phrase that you used, and I'll just remember it. Sometimes when I read something that's really striking, I have a little window on my iPad that I'll write it down to remember later. But I don't know. I've just always kind of been like this. I have the right to remain silent, but not the ability.
Let's play for the folks at home exactly what we're talking about. This is cut 2 here, and this is one of my favorites. Cut 2, Elias, go.
Everybody in Washington now seems to be an economist, and some of them just don't know what they're talking about. Taking their advice is like taking the advice of a nun about sex.
Do your colleagues come up to you afterwards and say, I saw that line, can I borrow it?
No, some of them came up to me and said, Kennedy, God's going to punish you. You're going to get in trouble one day. And I tell them, look, God understands. I think I've kind of desensitized folks. I tried to write a book, Joe. It's not a policy book per se. It's a story book, and I use stories to talk about policy. And some of the stories are funny. Some of them are really bizarre, but they're all true. Every single one of this, somebody's phone's going off. That's probably mine. Every single one of them's true. And I wrote the book for three reasons. I wanted to explain to my people what the Senate's really like from the inside. I wanted to try to explain why in Washington, D.C., normal is just a setting on the clothes dryer. And try to explain to folks why it doesn't have to be that way if we use a little common sense. And I hope the book makes people think. It'll might make them laugh, may make you day drink, man, but it's all true.
I like the epilogue, and we're talking to Senator John Kennedy. The book is a great one. It is called How to Test Negative for Stupid and Why Washington Never Will. And you go through basically, personal responsibility in the same way that, a very famous Democrat, probably the most popular Democratic president of all time, John Kennedy, the other John Kennedy, President John Kennedy once said. In the epilogue, you said, "I believe in personal responsibility, the rule of law, equal opportunity, merit, respect for human dignity, and faith in the human progress." I don't see why that would be bipartisan. And yet we see this government shutdown, which is now getting to a dangerous point. Like we could laugh about it for the first couple of weeks because not a lot of people felt it. I shouldn't say laugh about it, but most Americans didn't feel it, and therefore it wasn't the big story that we saw on cable news. Now we're seeing that 10% of flights will be basically canceled in major airports across the country because they simply don't have enough air traffic control workers. Obviously, SNAP benefits, that's a problem as well. And yet Democrats will not come to the table. Do you believe that there are 5 moderate Democrats out there, pragmatic ones, old school Democrats that will finally say, okay, let's end this government shutdown. Republicans keep voting over and over again to end it, and we'll negotiate afterwards. Do you think there's enough common sense folks out here to do that?
I think there at least 5, if not more, Democrats who believe that. I just don't know if they have the courage to do anything about it. Every shutdown, as you know, Joe, is different. This one is almost purely political. And it has to do with my Democratic colleagues, led by Senator Schumer, their fear of the, whatever you want to call it, socialist wing, loon wing, Gary Busey wing, angry wing of the Democratic Party, which is obviously in control. And Chuck's not the leader of the Democratic Party. Congresswoman Ocasio-Cortez is. They just elected a socialist, a mayor of New York. And that's really what's driving this shutdown. People are just scared of the loon wing of their party, which will destroy them if they allow it to. But that's where we are. I hope the shutdown, a lot of people are being hurt with this shutdown. It breaks my heart. We got a lot of people in this country that live paycheck to paycheck, and I've got staffers that haven't been paid. I'm moving on a bill this week on the Senate floor to stop all members of Congress from getting paid their salary. It's probably not going to pass, but I'm sure as hell going to try. I held off doing it because I thought the shutdown was going to end. But when it's a political shutdown and not a policy-driven shutdown, it makes it that much harder. But it's clearly a multiple vehicle pileup. I mean, it's a goat rodeo, man. You ought to, as bad as it looks from the outside, you ought to see it from the inside on the Senate floor.
It must be infinitely worse. And we're talking to Senator John Kennedy. The book is How to Test Negative for Stupid. You mentioned that AOC is now probably the leader of the Democrat Party. I mean, let's face it. She supported wholeheartedly Zohran Mamdani, who just won in New York. This is the same person who said that there is no problem that is too big that government cannot solve. The same person just a couple of years ago called the NYPD racist and homophobic, and obviously he wants to push for free everything. He's the Oprah of candidates. You get free childcare, you get free buses, which would become homeless encampments. I live right near New York. It is a scary time, certainly. But here was your line about AOC as far as her, let's see, IQ. This is cut number 3. Go.
I consider Congresswoman Ocasio-Cortez to be the leader of the Democratic Party. I think she's the reason there are directions on a shampoo bottle.
Yeah. So can you see her, Senator, being the Democratic nominee in 2028? In other words, it's one thing to be the person who's really active on TikTok, and it's almost as if you're getting paid by the word on social media. It's something else altogether to be the nominee for the Democratic Party, because while what she says may sell in New York or Chicago or Seattle, in those swing states, those crucial ones like Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Arizona, Georgia, North Carolina, that stuff's not going to fly.
Well, Joe, I'm gonna emphasize this first. Look, I don't hate anybody. When I say my prayers, I really do. I ask God, don't let me hate. And I don't hate the Congresswoman. You know, she's entitled to her opinion. But her problem is that with the Congresswoman, if you scratch the surface, you just get more surface. I mean, these are all platitudes. Just like the new mayor in New York, you know, free buses. Who's not for that? You know, free child care, free food, free sex, free kittens, free everything. It's been my experience that anything that's free, somebody had to work for. Now, but it sells with the lone winger party, and there's no sense bubble wrapping it. She's in the ascendancy. She's in charge. I think the Congresswoman will be if the Democrats continue to move to the left like they are, she'll either overthrow Hakeem Jeffries and be Speaker of the House, she'll run against Chuck Schumer, or she'll run for president. And we'll just see how big her ego is. But then in any of those three jobs, though, she's going to have to explain in detail why socialism is a better economic, social, and moral model for society than freedom, personal responsibility, and for enterprise. And I think anybody debating her will be able to eat her like a light snack when she has to defend her positions.
Yeah, she'll be out of her comfort zone of an MSNBC or your average podcast.
I mean, she's always in front of friendly audiences, friendly media. They love her, and she is a very good candidate on TV. But she's light as popcorn.
Yes, or as I like to say, and I coined this one, and you could borrow it, all right? She's all foam and no beer, all right? That is an old fraternity.
I like it, man. It's like being all salt and no tequila.
Oh, see, that's even better. It's all steak and no sizzle. It's all... I'm running out of analogies, so I'm going to leave it here because we only have 30 seconds. It's
all Henry and no Kissinger. You know, we can go forever, man.
You could go forever. I think I've already lost. So I just want to, we only have about 30 seconds, and you know TV, you know radio, so I'm sure you can condense this into an elevator pitch. What's the one thing you think that people are going to take away from your book, How to Test Negative for Stupid, that they didn't know about you or the process before?
I hope it makes them think. I hope it makes them understand Washington better, and I hope it makes them understand why it doesn't have to be this way. But I also hope it makes them understand water in Washington, D.C. is not going to clear up until we get the pigs out of the creek.
And he did that in 18 seconds. I was timing that. Senator John Kennedy, Republican, Louisiana, thanks so much for joining us. I'm glad we could finally have a conversation one-on-one, and please, let's do it again sometime.
You're a total rock star, man. Thank you.
Wow. See, that's the highest praise. Anybody can say that to me, and I'm like, yeah, whatever. Senator Kennedy says that to me. And I don't know. I'm getting little hairs on the back of my neck standing up. So I'm a fan. What can I say? Anyway, this is the Joe Concha, Tunnel to Towers Foundation Sunday morning show. Back with more in just a moment.
It's Another Side of Midnight. 77 WABC.
It's easy to get stuck reaching for the same familiar fruits and vegetables, even when you know a colorful variety is key. Balance of Nature's fruits and veggie supplements don't replace fruits and vegetables, but it makes it easy to add more variety to what you already eat. With 31 ingredients that are whole fruits and vegetables, switching it up is easy because we've already taken care of the hard part. Go to balanceofnature.com and get a free fiber and spice supplement, plus 35% off your first set as a new preferred customer by using discount code POD.